Oh, I need to turn the keyboard on. And now I'm reducing the volume so it doesn't split everyone's ears. Games, 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 it's what I'm talking about. Games, 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 I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And today I'm in my room again. I'll start playing the keyboard and then I will sing words that I make up. And I'm gonna keep on going until I hiccup. And I'll say something that doesn't make very much sense. I don't know why I'm saying say it like it's in the future tense. This song is already going off the rails. I try to keep it sensical, but that ship has sailed anyway. Games, 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 it's what I'm talking about. Games, 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 I'm not gonna shout. And hello and good morning. And I hope that everyone's generally well. This is episode 415 of Bezzy Beats and Board Game Blether. And today, as is typical for the 400s, there is no real topic. I'm just talking about anything. I am going to be talking quite a bit, though, about a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. One of the drawings there, that drawing in fact, is by Sammy Clark, and I want to give commendation and thank you very much to Sammy Clark, who keeps on drawing, colouring in my creatures that I've drawn, and that's just such a delight to see. I'm going to say that yesterday, I'm going to talk about what I did yesterday, share some brilliant things, and play some music. And let's get on with it and talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights, making games and other delights. Recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. So, what was I up to yesterday? Well, let me show you. I did a lot of drawing. This is meant to be a hybrid between a chicken and an owl. Some of these you might have seen before yesterday. Chicken owl. This is a smiley person. That was done before. This is also a smiley person. This is a duck-billed platypus. You won't have seen that one. Someone asked me to make a duck-billed platypus. What's even weirder, could I make something inspired by a duck-billed platypus? And thank you, Pedikin, for following. I do appreciate it. So yes, this is a duck-billed platypus, but with mouths instead of eyes and eyes instead of toes. Here's another duck-billed platypus, but this one is kind of standing on its one foot. It only has one giant foot. And also, instead of two arms, it has kind of two tentacles with heads on them. And yeah, up at the top, not sure, and also a head on its chest. But, so those were the ones that I didn't scan in. These are the bits of art that were scanned in that I got Chris to scan in for me. First, this is the bit that I'm most excited about. A number 6 and a number 7, because this edition, the second edition, is going to go up to 7. The first edition only went up to 5. But this edition, because I realized that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 could have text on the back. And I did have to get rid of one bit of text. I had to get rid of the about this game section, but I'm going to put that all on the website, so hopefully people will check that out. So what that means is that now there's a hard mode. So if you feel like the game's a bit too easy, you can do 6 and 7, and you can, raise 6 or 7 fingers. Also, all the new creatures, let's check them out. So firstly, this one, I'm really happy with how this turns out. This is probably my favorite drawing. This is from Kathleen, inspired by Kathleen Mercury, who wanted an, I think it's called icosahedron. Like, it's a 20-sided regular polygon, but with mouths on each of the sides. Here's a cylinder, but with lots of eyes and mouths all over. Kathleen Mercury wanted a ball, but, you know, a sphere doesn't really work for the shape of a card. So I made it a cylinder, and I also gave it Kathleen Mercury's hair. This is Graham Charlton, but as a schnauzer. It might be a bit too dog-like, but sometimes it's okay having like one easy thing. Like, this is going to be quite a challenging creature to make the sound of. I mean, I think, imagine it going like that. That's my noise for it. This is also one inspired by Kathleen Mercury, who wanted a long, twisty thing. And I think the idea was that it would just be like one long snake with a mouth at the end. But that wasn't interesting enough, so I added 2 mouths because I wanted more creatures with multiple mouths, and I also added all the eyes. This is a creature that was inspired by a video where someone wanted some creature that would make the noise. Oh no, wait. That's kind of the noise that they imagine it's making. So I think what they really wanted was to imagine a noise, then to have a creature drawn based on that noise, and then to see whether other people would make the same noise or not. And so it's their description was it should be kind of as fat as a pig, but maybe with wings, but the wings don't really let it fly. It's got a snout, kind of like an anteater. It's looking a bit solemn, a bit sad. Maybe it's sad it can't fly, but it's got these long appendages that kind of manage to grab leaves from above. So that is this is a round kitty happy thing that's for CD Doyle. Really, this is one based on an actual cat. Again, this one might be a bit too cat-like. So it's not it's not one of my favorite things for the creatures, but again, it's nice to have just occasionally you roll something and it's like, okay, that's an easy one. Everyone gets it, and he gets an easy turn, and that's fine. This is the final owl pigeon. So this is an owl pigeon that just happens to have a human mouth, because otherwise I thought it would be too easy if it goes doo-doo, doo-doo, ha 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 ha. But like adding the extra mouth, I think in future I should probably have more things with multiple mouths. Talking about the platypuses, which you've seen earlier, this is my final let's make a platypus look even weirder. So this is like a platypus, but instead of eyes and the top of its head, it's got an extra mouth. Also, it's kind of really skinny and creepy looking. Someone said that these look like eldritch horrors. And finally, I needed some more things, and I decided I was going to make the ones of the Big Tuck moderators just a little bit nicer. So I've added a little bit of shading, and these will go in as their own drawing. So these are going to be part of the game. So this is Meatball feeding itself, someone spouting a drink, possibly beer, a huggy creature, 2-headed creature, and this anxiety draw. And that is all my drawings. That was that. What else have I been up to? I've been opening Loup Garou pour une nuit, Epic Battle. I don't know how to pronounce Epic Battle. Epic Battle doesn't seem like it's French, but just to put. So I saw it finally on Board Game Geek. It wasn't on Board Game Geek when I bought it. I think I might but so this one, it has 2018 on the back. So it just is a reminder that whilst Board Game Geek is, the main repository, it's the best that we've got in the world right now. it is very English focused, and it's a reminder of how English focused we are. You know, if something doesn't exist in English, it's kind of like it doesn't exist. But Loup-Garou Epic Battle, and then I also got this lovely poster, which was from a completely different game, Association d'Idées, which I still love that pun. I was actually looking through it because I'm planning a French board gaming thing, and I'm really excited to try out Loup-Garou Epic Battle and see if we can play it in French, negotiating in French. And I've been going through the rules, but very slowly because, as I said, it is in French, and my French is not fluent. But that was a joy, just opening it, going through the rules, reading it, and be like, oh yeah, I understand these words, having my laptop at the side so that I could translate the words that I don't know. And finally, I want to share these amazing drawings by Sammy Clark. Sammy Clark, I just love this one. This kind of has a real creepy grey flesh vibe. It's kind of like it's a zombie or something. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's like kind of gross and disgusting. And then it's kind of coming to eat you. And then like I looked carefully at the bottom, and it's like all these sharp angles. It's more like, I don't know, crumpled paper. And I really enjoyed that sort of juxtaposition. So then we've got also this cute little rendition. I like the way that the pink and the white make it look softer. And it's also kind of like yin yang when I see it. And yeah, thank you, Sammy, for continuing to make these amazing pictures. I'm just delighted by all of these. And so, yep, that is a wee thing. And finally, this article, I'm going to link to it. Toy World Mag has an article about toys and games doing fairly well. And so it is from the perspective of the toy industry. It's basically saying that during 2020, we actually, you know, people continue to want to do things, and it does kind of mention the whole fact that trading card games and other CCGs are pretty much their own thing. Yeah, people talking about how they're adding more and more stuff. It does mention Ravensburger adding like 100 new lines or something, but I think that's, yeah, we'll launch more than 100 new lines. And I think a lot of that is going to be puzzles. I've been told that they are going to be introducing basically one main kids line when they didn't want a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. And so it feels like, you know, a lot of these new lines are actually going to be expansions, sequels, and that's fine. I mean, if you want to make a new spin-off of Labyrinth, if you want to make a new puzzle, and things are doing well, but adding new lines doesn't mean that you're, when it's written there, it sounds like, oh wow, you're adding so much brand new IPs. But it feels very much like you're, yeah, I mean, and also they include puzzles, so that includes, you know, jigsaw puzzles as well. So yeah, that's a very broad category. I just want to acknowledge that. But yeah, there's some worthwhile reading there. Oh, I'm going to... Today, I'm going to keep this lovely drawing by Sammy Clark, just to extend my view so that you get to see a wee bit of my keyboard and also me. And that is the end of my recent highlights. So now it's time for Questionably Quick Questions is the name of the next section. Questionably Quick Questions. Now is the situation. You can get in your questions. You can get in your questionably quick questions. But if there is anybody out there who would like to ask me a question, you absolutely can. Now is the time. But while you think of that question, I'm going to talk about a brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? I'm going to talk about delegating. I've got a person who works for me 1 day a week and it's fantastic. Chris, shout out to Chris. Chris, you need an Alan Hackerhern. Chris and I used to live together, but now Chris lives away. About 10-minute cycle away or half an hour walk. I don't tend to walk, but sometimes I've walked there with McCall, who also lives with Chris. They're partners. Romantic sexual partners. The first person who used to work for me regularly was, and actually when I think about who used to work for me, it's like, okay, I've paid people to do printing, but beyond that, have I ever paid anyone to do anything? Like one time I paid someone £50 to make a print and play for me. But it was Denim Spur who was the first person to be a paid employee. And I should give a shout out to a couple of people, Mick Wood and Aidan Laufer, who did help me a wee bit as a volunteer. Mick Wood did do a bit of proofreading, and actually now I think about, hiring people to do work, of course, I've gotten Rachel Mortimer to do proofreading. That's something that I think it's very important to get someone else to do. Proofread your work, get someone else to check it. But beyond that, it's basically the playtesting, getting the opinions at the convention, seeing how people respond, and seeing what people want to play, and on a stream, what do people engage with? What do people say? Yes, I would buy this. What do people not say anything about? And that silence can be very revealing. Anyway, so after Denim Spur's work started to take off, and it was like, okay, Denim Spur is a sometimes actor, and their lifestyle, their unreliability doesn't really work for me, because I wanted someone who was able to be there like once a week just to help me make stuff, and Chris's lifestyle thankfully did. So they have another job where they're kind of doing data entry, and I think that are happier working for me because it's like a little bit more creative, but they wouldn't work, like they are happy that with their other jobs are able to take like 1 or 2 days off a week, and then I pay them, like I'm currently paying them 1 day a week, but as of next month it's going to go up to 2 days a week because of the success of a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. But my point is that yesterday I did a lot of drawing, and Chris did a lot of scanning and laying things out and making things into a pile, a PDF to send to Rob, and that was fantastic. And also Chris does a lot of stuff on the LDEC Twitter account, and delegating, having other people doing things, but then trusting them with the details. You know, it just allows you to do more stuff, and this kind of feels like the way that I should be doing more of, delegating and having more people involved. And also talking about, like, yeah, of course I've gotten a wee bit help from Dina, but I think it's really important to be working with other people, even if it's not a co-designer, even if it's somewhat like a, hey, I'm allowed to make one swear here. No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, it was on Parks and Rec. Can I? Now I've made it into a thing. But yeah, I'm going to say, like, I am the boss, bitch. Like, I'm king, like, but it's kind of like, I've got the power, you know, what I say goes, and it's like, you know, ultimately the buck does stop with me, and I am, you know, the person. I am the face of Stuff by Bez. Of course, it's still Stuff by me, except for the LDEC, which is Stuff by everyone, but, you know, this is, like, my stuff. But yeah. So that is a brilliant thing, just having people who will help you. And so now, let's go for a wee bit of music. Now, today being Thursday, I mean, it's not like every Thursday I take a day off, but yeah, it's like yesterday was a major milestone, and today I'm just going to take the day off. I'm just going to play this for a while, then maybe do some puzzles. I'll chat to Molly and Jessica Mederingham, part of a support group. And hello, Jess. I was just talking about the other Jess, Jessica Mederingham. And how are you? I hope that everything is well in Thailand. This monster was drawn by me, but coloured in by Sammy Clark. I don't know if you can read Sammy's name on the screen. Hopefully you can. is pretty much, because this is a briefer blether, I should say that it is starting to be that kind of time where I turn it over to you and I ask you, is there anything you want to share, whether it's something fun and frivolous or maybe it's something super serious, something that you're planning to do or something that you want to do, something that is important or trivial, wonderful or terrible. Because, I mean, I try to keep it positive, but you have to acknowledge that bad things do exist. You can't just have, I mean, I've heard the term used before, toxic positivity, which is an interesting one, which is kind of to pave over all the terrible things that are happening. And it's almost kind of like a way of pretending that everything is hunky-dory when it really isn't. But yeah, if you feel like you have something that you want to share, then please share it, whatever you want. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to, on meetup.com, add the Royal Festival Hall event. We are meeting up tomorrow for the first time since 2020, for over a year. We are going to be meeting at 10 a.m.-ish. Up until now, there's been a few months of the Royal Festival Hall being open on a limited capacity, just from 12. But now, finally, it's back to normal. So, yeah, that's it. I might give David Brain a ring to check that they still want it to be up on the meetup, because I will be away next week. But yeah, that's exciting, going and playtesting with real people and all those things. Bones, hello Bones, lovely to see you. This week I've been helping my daughter learn to play the electric guitar. That sounds fantastic. How old is your daughter? And do you use quite a light gauge? Because like with proper thick heavy strings, I mean, I know enough to know that like that can be really strenuous and, you know, tiring, and you really need to build up those calluses. I know someone said that they could basically either play the guitar or do massages because they required different things. Like, because this is a friend I have who loves doing massages, and I mean, massages were never her main profession, but it was like a side gig that she just loved doing. And also playing the guitar was something that she loved doing. But then she realized that either she has to build up the calluses to be really good, or she has to, you know, just focus on keeping her fingers soft and sensitive and being able to continue enjoying doing massages on people. So she chose the latter. And Bones says, daughter is 11 and she has a smaller sized guitar. Oh, that sounds like lots of fun. I think there's something wonderful about music. And being able to express yourself. I think my first teacher, who basically shouted at me when I got things wrong, didn't instill any love of it to me. They told me that doing it is a hard task and that you need to be perfect, but that's not a good way to live life. And when I think about it, it's like maybe this is overanalyzing, but maybe my entire perfectionist nature stems back from that. Like, I would make a mistake, like, let's say I made a bum note, like I'd do that, and then they'd be like, no, haven't you learned? Didn't I just tell you? And then they'd say, okay, this is what you've got to do. Or maybe the first time they'd be understanding, and then the next time I'd make a mistake, like I'd do the same thing again, and then they'd shout at me, and it did make me feel quite scared of doing it. But then they left. They left the city, and my parents always cajoled me into playing the keyboards. Piano, I should say. I mean, I didn't say that I hated it. I mean, at least it was something that I could do. But I think that, there were a lot of things that I'd tried and then I'd given up on. Like, I'm very privileged. Like, my parents, they love me, and they definitely spent a lot of money and stuff on letting me do stuff. Like, I had a couple of archery classes and trampolining, and, that was fantastic. But it was after my first teacher left that we found Rob Foxcroft. Rob is just a fantastic teacher. And they empowered me. When we were working out what would be the next thing that I should learn, they said to me, okay, let me play some things for you, and you decide which one of these you would like to learn. And they told me that, improvising is actually a skill. And it was like a few years later, after I stopped going to lessons because I'd gone to Dundee, and by this time I just learned to improvise. And I think that it was when I was able to improvise and be like, that suddenly it felt like it's opened up the possibilities to me. And there's something I like about streaming. That's, I mess up, and of course some of the notes, they're not quite in the right place, they're not quite the exact right time, they're not the quite exact right note, but that's the way it is. And music, it's kind of about expressing yourself, and as long, it's kind of like getting yourself lost in translation. Like, if I say I am hungry when what I really mean is I am tired, then that's not effective use of language. And if I make what I'm really trying to do is to relax you, then that's not a good use of the noise. I mean, if I want to try and say something dramatic, then sure, that's a good use of the noise, but it's all about understanding, the impact of the words, the way that the words matter, the words that the notes matter. And I guess it is kind of like it developed that understanding of musical language in me. And hello, Runa, it is lovely to see you. Thank you very much for popping in, just talking about music. Jess wants to learn the piano. I think that if you want to learn, you're never too old to learn. I was thinking about in Thailand whether I should take this keyboard, because I do like this keyboard very much, or if I should go to Thailand, leave this here, maybe not here, but like in my parents' place, and because I might be able to get another one, and then you could come over for lessons, grab your own keyboard, buy something yourself, and yeah. Can we watch this video later on too? Which video? It depends what video you mean. I mean... Oh, you mean what I just said? I mean, sure, if you want to... Oh, as in, can you rewatch this? Yes, all my videos go onto YouTube. And yes, if you want to listen back to stuff that I said, it's always on youtube.com/stuffbybez. So Runa says, I try to learn. My brain is too much chaos and not enough perseverance. And yeah, you're very welcome. Even though like maybe each of my videos gets 1 or 2 views on YouTube, it still feels worth putting them up there. But yeah, that is the end of my show. So if anyone wants to share anything else, then please feel free before I wrap up. But today we have talked about so much. We've talked about the wonderful Sammy Clark and the monsters that Sammy has coloured in. I talked about some things that I drew. Yeah, so I'm going to show them once more. Here's the owl thing. Here's like a platypus, but it's a bit more macabre. Very quickly. Nude, long thing. This thing. Round, furry thing. Kitty thing. Yeah, I'm just going to show them all. Numbers, which are super exciting to me. This is my favourite one. Kathleen, doggy thing, smiley thing. Those are the new creatures for a game about wee whimsical creatures. I talked about how it all got sent off to the printer yesterday. I'm really chuffed about that. I talked about delegation and how Chris helps me. I talked about, well, we heard about little children learning to play the guitar. Then Jess from Thailand and Runa from the Netherlands, I want to say, came in. And we talked for a wee bit about music and perfectionism. And that's pretty much the end of the show. Will the video be on YouTube immediately? It should be. It's on YouTube literally right now. So let me actually copy paste that into Twitch. There we go. Oh, I'm so sorry, Runa. Lots and lots of love. And so, yes, if you want to check me out, I am basically Stuff by Bez everywhere. So, stuffbybez.com/Discord if you want to join in my chat channel where you can share things that you've made. You can ask design questions, talk about games, share pictures. Stuffbybez.com is my main website. Stuffbybez.bigcartel.com is where you can buy stuff. Twitter.com/stuffbybez is where I'm the most active. Instagram.com/stuffbybez is, you know what Instagram is, but I'm not very active there, but I sometimes post pictures. Twitch.tv/stuffbybez is where I like to stream, as well as YouTube and the Discord I just mentioned. And I just want to say very quick, thank you everyone. You are all wonderful. If you want to check out my streams, then go to the streams. I still don't have any guests lined up, but I'm hoping to reach out to some people. Tim Fowers and maybe Charlie Petit from Tabletop Gaming Live. I'm going to start, having Dina, and I'll be at BerlinCon next week, so I will be skipping one of the days. I'll be skipping Tuesday and possibly Wednesday. I will be on Saturday, Sunday. I expect to be streaming from the convention, but it will be just a very quick, literally just 10 minutes thing. Share, spread the word. For now, there is only one thing left to say, and that is basically to say bye-bye. And Jess, I totally get, yes, I agree with you. Learning languages or an instrument, it does take perseverance. It's all about that perseverance. And I hate to say it, but I really love all the chat. Runa and Jess, it feels like I've managed to, I see there's, chats going on about personality types, and yeah, lessons will help me to concentrate, says Jess. Yeah, that's true, kind of meeting with people, having that external motivation, I get that. Runa says, Runa might be an extrovert that got bullied into being an introvert. That is sad. But and Jess, yeah, start piano lessons. Start your own. Like I'm good enough that I could give you a wee bit of guidance, but you should probably get someone else to do it, because otherwise I could see, we're friends, and so if I was doing it as a favor, at some point, I might be like, oh, Jess needs me to do this every week, and I'm starting to resent it. It could become something that I start resenting. So get an actual piano teacher. I think that's a better. I think, yeah, getting someone else to do it's a better idea. Do it, yeah. But yeah, I would totally do it for a while, just because we're friends. And the human mind works in mysterious ways. It can learn weird things, especially mine. I know I chameleon through life. And for sure, we can do it a couple of times, but you should get a proper regular, like once or twice a week teacher. And for now, so much love, and bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. Now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, Jess. Love you too. Bye-bye, Runa. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bones. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.